Test, 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 test. Okay, we're back. Well, that's unfortunate. We missed out on quite a lot. That's okay. The group is cruising through a couple realms right now. At least you heard it from the player side. Our players just entered
They didn't
Mechanus.
hear Dukamus?
No, and I mean, well, John didn't get hear any of the shit we talked about, Manny. So that's also good.
So, like I said, you guys find yourself in a workshop here in Mechanus. There are parts, gears, and equipment strewn all over the room. It is in complete disarray. So, on the table, in the center of the room, there are 10 large buttons and a disheveled dwarf that is pressing those buttons. On the far wall, there's a display showing the numbers 0045537912. The dwarf quickly pressing the buttons and is changing the numbers on the wall and muttering to himself. Hello? Hello? Ah, perfect. Yeah, I could use some help. I seem to have locked myself in my workshop, and I can't remember the passcode.
That's fun.
I know that I left some clues around here that help me remember what the passcode is, but I can't remember where I left the clues either. So each of these buttons goes to that number. See, if I click this button, that turns to 1. And if I click it again, it switches to 2. And if I click it, it switches 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. I can tell you the only rule that I do remember about this. Yes. I left a couple notes that give a clue to what the password is. The problem is I left my glasses in the other room, and now I can't find my notes. There's a very strict rule system to this code, and I do recall the first, and that's each number is unique, and so that each number only appears once in the 10-digit code 0 through 9. But I can't remember what the order is outside of that. And so here I am just clicking through these. As you can tell, I've been here for a while.
I know it's not this number. I did write that number down.
I adore you. I know it's not this one.
It also has repeating numbers in it, so I don't know why you were trying.
Okay, I'm gonna make 10 little slots. 1, 2.
Hi. Did you want me to... Can I start looking around for clues?
Can I roll investigation?
Can I hit some button? No, I'm not darling right now.
I know. But this character would not.
Yeah. I know. I was like, darling would, or Phoenix would not just go over and push buttons.
There is one other clue that I do remember. Is that the last 3 digits are the number of days in a year. I, however, was born on a year with a leap day, so I do count it.
Are you writing this down?
Your year may be different than a year somewhere else.
It's consistent.
Oh.
The lunar calendar in this is consistent with ours, essentially. I mean, like, how they break it up is differently, but there is still, it's the same, like, day and night cycle, so there's, 364 days in a normal year, 365 with a leap. So.
But that doesn't mean it's not necessarily 3, 6, 5 though, is it?
Is it like in order of it?
Yes, the last 3 digits are the number of days in my birth year.
Wait, your birth year, or how many days are in it?
Days in my birth year.
Okay.
I was born actually the day before Shield Meet. Shield Meet being the leap day.
It's good to know.
Can you start looking around for clues?
Yes, roll me an investigation check.
365
Yeah.
at a normal. There's
It's
366.
Okay,
No,
so
leap
sorry.
year?
Then never mind. He was not born on a year with Shieldman.
Okay. Because I was like,
I was
wait
like,
a
was he trying
second.
to trick us by saying?
No,
Yeah.
sorry.
Okay.
Then that is because that's what I had in my notes. But then I quickly Googled it to double check, and it said it was like 364, but 365 with the leap day. And I was like, really? And I was like, that's not what I had in my notes. So okay.
Yeah, I was like,
Okay,
I'm like,
that
wait
makes
a
sense.
second. I have to go Google this because I was pretty sure.
Yes. So never mind. It is so. Just to clarify, the last three digits are 365.
Okay.
I got
Tricked my own self
20,
Yeah.
by googling.
26 for investigation.
Mm.
26. Okay. You find the first clue with ease. It was a DC 5.
Damn it! I should have done it.
Crossing out so we know what numbers are left to
Mhm.
use.
Yeah. Very quickly,
Why do you
you
have 9 crossed out?
I don't have 9 crossed out.
I just wrote 1, 2,
very
4, 7,
very
8,
quickly you find the first clue.
Mm-hmm.
Two odd numbers are never adjacent in the order.
9.
Okay.
So we know. Yeah, that's good.
So it'll be odd.
This has
So
already
second
gone over my
number,
head.
Fourth number.
It'll be 2, 4, 8 before
All the
or
even
0.
spaces are odd numbers. Second, fourth, sixth.
Mhm. Even. Odd. Even.
As you read that clue out loud, Gil goes, "Oh yes, of course, yes, that makes sense. Fairly simple."
Oh, wait. Oh yeah. Like the first one's
The
even.
first one's gonna be even. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All the odd spaces are even. All the even spaces.
I will look
I'm-
for a clue too.
Sorry, I know you probably said this, but my brain was, when you were introducing the world, was on fix the mic mode. What were you trying to do? Or find out his birthday?
No, there is a 10-digit passcode to enter the next, like, to get out of this laboratory.
Oh, okay.
And he can't remember what his passcode is. He normally has clues hiding around the place that can give him a hint as to what the passcode is in case he forgets it.
Okay.
The problem is he forgot his glasses in the other room behind the locked door, so now he can't find the clues himself. So he's just been going through every number
Also,
in a 10-digit sequence.
Manny has joined the stream, so we can. He's helping out with some notes. He's got hashtags and then 365 at the end.
I rolled 10 for investigation.
That's the next trick.
That is DC 10 is the next investigation check. Sorry, I was catching up on the chat. The first 4 numbers in the sequence add up to 18.
Okay.
Who we picked?
The first 4 numbers add up to 18.
Um,
Well, there's a couple combinations there, but that does limit it down a little bit.
To what did you say? Oh, 18. I wrote it down.
an 18 on investigation. I'm looking for.
Okay, the next one was DC 13. The 7th number in the sequence is the number of elemental planes.
The 7th number?
The 7th
4?
number in the sequence is the number of elemental
Collins is
planes.
4.
4?
Well, air, water.
No, but I was going to use 4.
I mean, I'll look it up.
Too bad.
Can we pause for a second?
Yep.
Do this really quick.
At any point, by the way, you can go ahead and guess a number. Because I'm also curious how quick you can get the number.
There are 4 elemental planes in D&D.
Okay. So 4 is used then. 4 there.
Technically, there are like demi-planes that exist of elemental
Oh.
demi-planes, but yeah, there's 4
The
main planes
first
of...
4 numbers are going to be a 1, a 2, a 7, and an 8. We just don't know the order.
John's also responded to your question of the day.
The first 4 numbers add up to...
18.
So
1,
it's
2,
a
7,
1, 2,
8.
7, and 10. Sorry. 1, 2.
No, there's not a 10, there's a 0.
1, 2, 7, and 8.
Yeah. 1, 2, 7, and 8
Because
are
10
the
and
first
8.
4.
So,
So that
means
means
we have
0
9
and 9.
0, so it's going to be...
0, 9, 4, 3, 6, 5.
But that yeah. 0,
So,
9,
give me
4,
a code.
3, 6, 5.
No.
Well, we don't know the order
well,
of the
fine.
first 4. We could
If you want...
switch it
Oh,
really easy.
okay.
Can we try... Wait, really quick. Can we try... 2, we can find it out.
2187
2187.
094365.
No.
Okay.
Okay. Can we try 21?
Or 27.
Yeah, 2781094365.
No.
Okay, then
Okay,
we'll
can we try
one.
8721094365?
No.
So then
And
it
it's
has
8127094365.
No.
What? Oh,
10.
hold on. 9 can go. Yeah. If we put 0 in. Okay,
Oh,
let's
use
look
the
for another
zero.
clue.
Yeah, you do have to use the 0 then.
Look for
Dang it,
another
I should
clue.
have crossed those out then.
Are you guys gonna make another investigation check?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. By the way, once you fail an investigation check, you are no longer allowed to investigate for the rest of your
Which
time
is
here.
why I'm like,
Oh, that's
wait, then I should have
So
saved
you
the
just rolled. What did you roll?
15.
That's a fail.
Okay.
You will not be able to find any more clues going
Oh,
forward.
you can roll.
And I will just do these notes.
I don't know what's Manny got for investigation.
You said she said 14?
Hmm?
I have 14.
That's a fail.
Manny's gonna roll, but I need to get to his.
Manny's investigation is +1.
Okay. That's a 6, but Sal got a 19.
Okay. The 6th number subtracted from the 5th number is equal to the number of planes of law. Let me full screen this for you guys.
Can I try a number?
Sorry. Yes.
1980274365.
No.
Oh, that was stupid. I don't know why I tried that. Ignore that. I did that.
Considering you started with the
Odd
odd
number. And I had an odd even. Let me restart that.
Okay. The 6th number subtracted from the 5th number is equal to the number of planes of law. In the outer planes, I should specify, just in
Is
case
there 5?
7.
Wait, so the which one is subtracted from the which one?
So, if you take the 5th number minus the 6th number, you get 7, the number of planes of law.
How does that work? But then that won't add up to 18. 9, 2.
Give me an investigation check, just because I want to give you the last clue.
That is a 26.
The middle 4 digits are not prime numbers. The middle 4 digits are not prime numbers.
I just imagine Sal finding all these like little notes about this stuff and like bringing them over to you guys, but being too lazy to.
Yeah.
I found this sticky note in this book, and under this piece of tools in glassware was this sticky note, and under the cat I found
They
another
are sticky notes, but they're also laminated to keep them protected and in good condition.
Okay.
Very lawful.
Yes.
Very orderly.
Actually, Sal's not too off put by this because I think she's lawful
Yeah.
in her.
She does like that. While this place is
In order.
disheveled because he's been digging through looking for these things because he can't see, she probably is impressed that everything seems to follow us.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I'm confused about too.
I think the 4 has to be wrong.
What was that clue again?
It was the something about the one of the how many
Elemental plane.
elemental planes.
It might be. Well, because of
The
this.
7th number is equal to the number of elemental planes.
There's 4.
No. Oh.
There are 4. I will confirm.
But there's not 3 other non-prime numbers to go.
Maybe you
There's
should.
1, 7, 1, 2, 7, 8, 9, 0. Is 0 a prime number?
0 is neither a prime or composite number.
So it could count as a not prime number.
Yes. it
So
could.
then we have 2. Oh, 9's not a prime number.
9 is not a prime number.
So it has to be either 2, 8, 9, or 0.
Well,
But it has to end up the first. I think 2 and 9 are the only ones unless it's 8, but 1 can't be because it's a prime number. So 9 and 2 have to be here to equal 7.
but then.
One is neither. Also, one is neither a prime or composite number. Correct.
Oh,
It's
so it could
divisible
be
by
1.
itself, but it doesn't really divide into
So
anything.
it could be 8 and 1.
It's the same function with zeros. You get an error.
Yeah.
Or 8 and 1.
But one,
But
yes.
here's the thing. He said that 5 minus 6.
The 5th number minus the 6th number is equal to the number of
So
planes
it
of
could
law.
be 8 and 1.
It could be 8 and 1, or it could be 2 and 9. So then we have 4 here to figure out. Or 9.
Then it would be the 6 minus the 5th.
It could be 9 or 2, 9 and 2, or 8 and 1 in those spots. Because it's the 6th minus the 5th, right?
No, the
No,
5th
it is
minus
the
the
5th
6th.
minus the 6th.
Oh, 6.
So it has to be 8 and 1.
It could be 9 and 2, though.
No, it can't because 9 and 2, the 5th would be the 2. 2 minus 9 is negative 7.
No, if you made the 9. Oh, because it has to be even and odd.
That's why I was getting frustrated. Sorry. I was like, wait, it can't be that.
Well, I used up these lines, so I don't have the even and odd written there, so then it's messing me up. Okay, so 8, 1, 3.
You're a drool monster tonight.
I'm letting Katie write it all down.
Well,
John said you forgot the elemental plane of surprise.
And then those equal, those do add up to 18, the numbers that are left over. So then it has to be, well, then there's 4 options that it could be. It could be 2,
Not if the last 4 are
0.
prime. Or not if the middle 2 are.
Okay, can I try this one?
Yep.
2, 7, 0, 9, 8, 1, 4, 3, 6, 5.
No.
I don't understand though, because that has to be, and 7 is a prime number, so 7 can't go right there.
It's 2 7. What did you say? 2 7 0
0, 9, 8, 1.
4 3 6 5.
Yeah.
That is incorrect.
Oh, 0, I'm stupid. 0, 7, 2, 9, 8, 1, 4, 3, 6, 5. Ding, ding, ding. I can change the even numbers. I don't have to change them.
The code was 0 7 2 9 8 1 4
I was getting
3
ready to
6
start writing it down.
5.
I'm like, I don't wanna.
It's the even. I forgot that I don't have to change the odd numbers. I could
Yeah.
just change the even numbers.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is the one. I guess that is the one section of it that no clue tells you exactly if that 2 and 0. All the others kind of you get to infer where all the other numbers go, just based on like, well, it has to be 8 and 1 because they have to go even, or they have to go even then odd, and those are the only ones that subtract to 7. And yeah, the 7 and 9 have to go together because 7 can't be a prime number. So yeah, it's the only how it's swappable. As the door clicks open, a wash of magical energy, or a wave of magical energy floods outward from the doors, both blinding and washing over you guys. You guys, as your vision returns, find yourself in the gate room. The Mechanus gate is no longer glowing.
Well, that's quite
Good job,
exciting.
Katie.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. That was the one that I was like, they're either going to like
Last
this or
option available.
they're going to hate this more than anything. So.
You were getting there. There was some frustrations growing between the two friends
I
there.
really liked that one. That one was my favorite one to write. I'm gonna be honest. That was probably my
Well,
favorite
I
one
was
to
just
write.
like, wait, it has to be even and odd, so it can only be 8 and 1. And she's like, no, it
That's
can be
the
9
rule I
and
kept
2.
forgetting was the even wrong.
Yeah.
So we've got the elementals. We've got Ethereal and Shadowfell that have not been explored.
Let's see. You guys have been to Acheron.
Yes.
Sorry, Manny's been to Acheron. He explained it to you. You guys
Yes.
have not been. You guys have been to the Grey Waste of Hades. You have been to Carceri, which is the wind tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
No, sorry, which is the warplane.
Yeah.
You have been to Pandemonium, which is the wind
Wind tunnel.
You
Yep.
have visited the Beastlands. Still haven't figured it out.
Right.
No.
After your 6th time, and you have visited Elysium twice.
Yes. And we have visited the Feywild.
You visited the Feywild. You have not visited, yes, the Ethereal, the Shadowfell, or either of the 4 elemental planes.
Can you do some research in your little book about the elemental planes before we just step into a world of fire? I'm just saying.
Evil
One of
laughter.
them is called the Elemental Plane of Fire.
I'm just saying. I'm a little precarious about stepping in there. I like heat occasionally, but from a distance usually.
The group of 6 planes.
I like Katie researching this because she gets so like.
Air, fire, earth, water, positive energy, and negative energy.
Yes. Positive energy and negative energy kind of exist as the spaces that fill in outside of it. And you can see it on...
Katie's just giving you crap, dude.
I was going to say, you can see it on the wheel. That
I just
think
thought
you
because
can
the
still do
first
this.
thing it says is the group of 6 planes.
After you've just told us there's 4 and we just sat there debating it. For
Well, it's the same way where it's like the plane of law.
Yeah.
Is technically 7 outer planes that exist in the plane of law. And there's 7 outer planes that exist in the plane of chaos, and then there's Hades and Elysium that exist in between.
There's also 12 minor.
Yes, that's what I was saying earlier, like the minor demi-planes where there are combinations, like the plane of lightning, which is the space, I think, between either air and fire or like air and water or something.
Which one do you want me to look at first?
Probably fire, like I said. I don't want to step in and,
You're not gonna. I will say you're not gonna get much out of it.
You don't
from
know
there.
Wow, just
If
slap
you'd like
back.
to make an investigation check, I can give you.
I can read.
I know. I'm just saying that when I made those, I
rolled
didn't
a 4.
really read much into it because there wasn't really a point for me to read much into
Elemental
them. If that makes sense.
chaos. Mixing with the other inner one.
Are we gonna burn upon going in is really, I think, our main question.
The flickering of a candle, the spark of a flint and steel, or the dying embers of a campfire. All of the potential to grow and engulf the world in flame. Can a drop of water, a breath of air, or a mote of dust do the same? Elemental fires, pure flame that does not require air. Oh, okay. That's not about that.
Okay, cat.
Is she belly up?
She's belly up and like taking all the head scritches and pats at the same time.
Elemental vortices.
Vortices? Sure.
could
vortexes.
occur wherever a high concentration or nearly pure form of an element was found, and can be temporary or permanent. So the forces to the plane of fire could often be found in pools of molten lava or the upwelling of magma in active volcanoes. Temporary gates could be created by the plane shift spell or abilities of high-level druids.
They're like potions of like fire walking.
What was that investigation check that you wanted?
If you want to make an investigation check, I will give you like a little bit of a clue to the plane because
21.
you can read up a lot on the history. These aren't really based on the history
It
of
is
the
a
plane. 21.
plane. It is a plane continually ablaze. It smells of burning flesh and ashen dreams. It is flame incarnate.
Yes. Each plane embodies its element, being the plane of air, the plane of water, the plane of earth, and the plane of fire, being the dominant feature of that. So the general idea of people who have visited the plane of fire immediately start burning.
It says arriving on the plane of fire was like stepping into the flaming maw of an ancient red dragon. If one didn't have a protection or immunity from temperatures high enough to melt stone, then death was swift. The following swift. Sorry.
Hey, it's me.
Jane's trying to roll a natural 20 right now.
Don't you mean John?
No, Stardew was John.
Well,
Any gray cat
doesn't look
will
like it
do.
now.
He wild shaped into Jean.
Yeah, Manny's over here, wild shaped into a gray cat.
Yeah, she's our dice hater.
Yeah.
It has normal gravity in landscape, although most of the gravity
Can
is made
Sal
under
wander down to the
easily
potion
lasting
rack and look for?
and felt like walking in a swamp of hot coals.
So each plane embodies a certain element. The
Mhm.
plane of water, most likely when you step into it, you're going to start drowning. The plane of fire, you're going to start burning. The plane of earth, you're probably going to take a lot of bludgeoning damage, either from rock or pressure or force. The plane of air, there's a good chance that you could
Suffocate.
fly into a void because of a significant lack of ground. Each plane is home to elemental creatures that aren't necessarily friendly to people not from that plane, or even necessarily to each other. You wanted to
Check the potion rack downstairs.
Lord of Flames.
give me
Pirate.
an investigation check.
That is a 21.
Okay, you actually managed to find, thinking specifically about the plane of fire,
Mm-hmm.
you're able to find 4 potions of fire resistance.
Resistance. So, wandered downstairs to our magical room of requirements and went to the bottle rack and found some, what I believe are resistance to fire potions. However, I don't know if that would eliminate us from being scorched still. We'd probably still feel the effects of it burning, but it's not an immunity. So I don't know how we want to deal with these. We might hold off and send you, Phoenix, to talk to Imitatio.
Yeah,
See if there's any clairvoyance there from somebody older than us. In the meantime, before that, we could check out the ethereal plane or the Shadowfell. Wrap that up, call it a day, do some research on the elemental cores.
I would say with your guys' rest, you guys are feeling pretty tired now, so even like taking 2 short rests in the day, even though it's 2 hours, like taking one after the other, it's pretty short, like one right after the other. You guys definitely ended up burning a lot of time, and it is starting to get to the afternoon here.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind taking it slower. We can try ethereal, but it might be the last thing I do today.
Okay. That sounds fair.
Okay. You guys step onto the thin outer ring Instead of all standing in one central spot, you all have to kind of take up positions around the ring because it's only as thin as your feet allow.
Yep.
Thinking about the material plane, but through an ethereal lens, you guys feel a fog wash over you as you see a lot of the color kind of fade from the room. You are not transported. You're not teleported. And in fact, you're still in the room you were in. The ethereal is often likened to an ocean, but rather than water, it's a sea of boundless possibilities. It consists of two parts: the border ethereal, which connects the inner and prime material planes, and the deep ethereal, which acts as an incubator to many potential demi-planes. You guys find yourself on the edge of the ethereal, on the edge of the material plane, viewing it from the ethereal plane. Looking around, you see the room around you in the portals, but the color is extremely faded. Each runic gate has a clear symbol floating above it, as if floating in space. And each of those symbols match with the symbols on the cosmological wheel of the planes.
Okay.
To demonstrate each plane symbol. You guys can step around and move around the room. You can even go up and down, but you guys are currently in the ethereal plane right now.
Does it feel like normal movement?
Yeah.
Do the symbols, the ones that we've completed, do they look any different than the symbols that we haven't completed?
No.
Okay.
In fact, all of the portals seem slightly different this time. As if all of them don't emanate a significant glow, but instead they look a little bit more whole, each of those portals. As if they're a little bit more well-defined and more powerful. You get the sense that those portals exist in the material plane that you're looking at, and they don't exist in the ethereal plane, but they look just slightly different enough that you know it's the same room, but something's off.
Can I roll some sort of insight, or just trying to vibe check the room?
I'm going
Maybe
to say
count
that's
the-
about as much as the information as you're going to gather from it, for the most part.
Okay.
Give me an Arcana check.
Arcana. Yeah. Oh, that's acrobatics. Okay. Dirty 20.
The outer planes, each of these runic portals, when you guys were there in the material plane, seem to send you to like pocket dimensions within that plane's existence.
Mhm.
You're locked into a certain location and a fixed, like anchored, where you're in the plane, but you're acting like visitors, where like you can only stay in there for so long and within a certain area. These runic symbols seem more complete and more powerful, and you can infer that using these gates, however, in the condition that they're in, if somebody was to use those gates,
Mhm.
they can actually transport to that plane as a whole and not within a pocket sphere of that plane. And you get the sense that this is how Visigoth was able to jump between planes and explore the entire universe.
This is how that silly god was able to actually visit all of these places. He must have jumped over to this side of things and then went there.
Created all the portals.
Maybe, yeah, and then maybe juice something back in the material realm to create these little mini quests. All portals are accounted for.
Yes. The ethereal portal is the only one that you can look at that seems seems like it's usable to you. Moving around the room, you do get the sense that you can actually almost float. You are stepping, but it feels like you're stepping on air, and getting that sensation, you're able to almost like push off with your feet and levitate for a second, as if you're able to like push yourself around in this plane.
I don't have a clue.
Did we try going in another portal?
Well, it's probably supercharged, so we can try, but we should probably do something like Elysium that is probably less threatening to you all.
Manny is looking around for somewhere where he can get dirt.
You should probably check downstairs, bud.
Oh, okay.
Oh no.
Goes floating down the stairs.
Actually,
Hey guys,
Yes.
it's different down here.
yeah, I was gonna say, I wonder if there's more
What's
floors.
All of our stuff is gone. We're gonna have to share a bed.
No.
It's really big though.
No.
What do you mean?
Let's just go.
Let's go downstairs real quick.
You guys head down the stairs, and the room has an entirely new layout.
If it didn't do this stupid.
Here you go. Heading down the stairs, it is one entire continuous room. Almost all the furniture, except for the couch and the chair, seem enlarged, a little bit larger than what would be a normal human size. But when you guys were there, the couch and chair were already larger anyway, given. There is distinct workshops in each corner. There is a kind of crafting station for blacksmithing, weapons, armors, some sort of enchanting area, books and potions. In the corner, you can see it is still looking through the ethereal, so everything has kind of this gray wash to it. There is a gelatinous cube that is currently in a contained in like a little square fenced prison. There is a obsidian table in the center with what looks some sort of like skeletal worm on it, and what appears to be some sort of massive egg. There's tools for like cleaning and experimenting. There's a large bed which looks significantly larger than a normal humanoid. This would fit a larger human, not quite huge, but larger. And the little pool in the center of the room in what is your guys' normal
Fish
material
that
plane
Manny keeps antagonizing.
is still there, except instead of there being a pool of water and fish inside, it's actually open, and it looks like it's a tunnel that shoots completely vertically down.
Do we go in the tunnel?
Give me you give me an insight check, Phoenix. As a religious person.
Oh, yay.
John agrees that you have the best Manny impersonation.
Dirty 20.
You get the sense that this was the layout of Visigoth's room.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what it looked like when he lived here. And that's why the portals upstairs look different and more complete, is because Visigoth was using them to transport himself to and from other planes freely.
This is a house fit for a god.
It doesn't look like it.
Well, for once it seems like it could actually be god-sized.
Not finding any dirt, Manny goes over and is trying to scoop ash out of the fireplace.
Yeah, Manny.
It's not working. I can't get it.
No.
And
Keep
as
trying.
as he's trying to dig, you can see like just a little bit, like a little tiny breeze, like some of the ash kind of moves, but it doesn't actually like get picked up by the.
You just keep trying. It's like a dream world, Manny. You just gotta put your all your brain cells towards it.
I'm really focusing.
It doesn't look like it. Try harder.
Okay.
Is there the bookshelf?
There is a bookshelf in this little center area here, on the side. Yeah.
It doesn't look like the same bookshelf, though.
It could be. I mean, the bookshelf that you had in yours just looked like a generic bookshelf. This does too.
Oh, okay.
Is everything here basically untouchable? Like you're, yeah.
For the most part. I mean, like,
If we try and lift,
if you wave your hand as fast as possible, you just might be able to get a page to, like, kind of flick over on a book that's open.
Yeah.
But, like, you can't pick stuff up and move it. You are in the ethereal plane. You're a visitor.
it's like Teleran Rod, John.
Well, here's the thing. At least try to go through there, knowing that we have a Bamf out button.
We're going through what?
The koi pond.
Why?
What else we got to do?
You just walk into a room and think, jump into a koi pond?
Frequently. You know that's not true.
Uh,
Look at the koi pond. It's not a koi pond here.
Yeah, and?
So, that as the biggest difference of something we can touch and do, unless we want to go through a portal.
No. I don't.
Well, we could at least try this. We have a Bamf out button. Otherwise, let's Bamf out now. Let's get some rest and let's go towards...
Well, you touch it first.
Okay, I'm gonna try to go through the koi pond.
Okay. It is a short stone wall, just like the little koi pond in your guys' material plane, and it is just a hole that goes down. Stepping into it, letting yourself fall, you fall at a fairly gradual pace. It is smooth, as if you are in the ocean, and you let the air out of your lungs and started to sink into the water. You are falling down this circular like shaft that seems to extend infinitely downward, and looking around you can see almost through these black glass walls that surround the reversed tower, and you can see the ocean on the other side of it. You see fish swimming in the distance, and you can see yourself getting closer and closer to the sea floor. What feels like hours but really has only just been like a minute, you find yourself gradually landing as you watch the sea level floor rise above you as you go into the ground and land in a small circular room with a smooth stone floor. There are 3 ornate stands in the corner. The one on the the one on the right is a body stand, and it has a hardy armor kit with heavy pauldrons and straps that run down to a waist plate with a chain skirt hanging over dense leg plates. And there's no chest piece to it. On the left side, there is a dense war maul with a short handle and a head of solid black platinum, and it looks like it weighs close to 200 pounds. And in the middle is a headpiece that holds a black metallic crown. Knock something down.
I'll go investigate.
In the middle shows a black metallic crown, and looking at it, it is hard to make out the details on this crown, as it seems that it is bathed in a thin layer of dust. However, the general shape is a circular crown with jagged points cresting from the rim of the crown, and a 4-edged spike rising from the middle that stands just a few inches above the rim.
Hello.
You hear an echo from above.
I think she's dead.
Everything's okay down here.
I don't think she's dead.
You certain about that? It could be her corpse talking.
Give me an Arcana check.
Oh, 16.
All 3 of these items radiate extreme magical energy. However, you can tell that they exist in the material plane and not within the ethereal plane, and you are just viewing them. But even being in a separate plane and viewing them, you can still feel and tell that there is a magical aura emanating from them that's so strong that it is pulsing into the ethereal plane.
Wow.
Hey Manny, are you done collecting your dirt?
I'm really trying here. It's not working.
Do we remember where her brother under the sea lives? Like, did she say... Not
What?
she. Ignacio, did they say kind of where their brother under the sea
To the
lives?
south.
To the south, okay.
Oh, Immutatio.
Imitatio.
Yeah.
Yep.
Old Immutatio. He did mention that they, one of his brothers, Imperium, lives in a castle at the bottom of the mouth. The mouth being the large bay. Here you go. The mouth being the large bay that
Okay.
encapsulates the eastern.
So this
Or
is
the western
not
side of Spain.
that place. Come down here.
No.
I'll go down.
Thank you.
Again, you step into it and float gently down, and it takes about a minute, but feels like a long time as you watch everything pass by and you land gently in the circular stone room, viewing the same three objects.
Hey Manny, I'm pretty certain our friends just died. You might want to jump in the hole and check.
Well, I heard him talking earlier, so yeah. We could go join him.
No.
Okay. Well, I'll probably hang out with you up here then, so we don't get too separated.
Yeah, 2 killed.
What are you guys doing down there?
Good. Confused. There's some really magical items down here.
Oh,
Actually, Sal, it might be kind of important to see if you recognize any of these.
Sal, I thought you liked magical items.
You've been around longer than all of us.
You guys are trying to work on manipulation. That doesn't work with me.
No, I'm just saying you've been around longer than all of us.
Well, just bring them up then.
I can't bring them up. We're in the freaking ethereal realm.
Sounds like a you problem.
Sounds like they're asking for your help.
Well, I haven't heard no hooty hoo.
Hooty hoo!
Oh, and he like dives, and he dives head first in.
Oh, that's gonna hurt.
He like dives head first, expecting to go fast, like he's like ready, and he's just like, as he like slowly descends head first. You guys see from the little like hole in the ceiling, out comes Manny head first, and he kind of lands in what you would assume to be like a graceful handstand, but instead kind of plops onto his head and then falls over onto his side, like not gracefully, but at such a smooth pace that it could have been considered graceful. He's like, I heard hooty hoo.
Thank you. It was more for Sal. I mean, we really appreciate it. Maybe you know something about these too, but
I could take a look.
let's see if Sal answers the hooty hoo.
I feel like this is the boy that cried wolf. And maybe next time I'm not going to come for a hooty hoo. But she'll hop down the hole.
Yeah, they look cool. He didn't roll high on Arcana.
I'll float down.
Yeah.
Arms crossed.
Yep. You see the same thing?
What do you want?
Well,
Is there danger?
Well,
You lie to me.
I didn't know hooty hoo was just for danger. I don't know how to get up from here anyways. So there's a lot of factors here that it could have been.
She like walks past you coldly, goes and
Of course
looks
she
at
does.
the.
Everything she does towards me is cold.
Roll with advantage.
Well, the first roll is a 26, so
Roll with advantage.
Roll with advantage. You might roll a natural 20.
natural 20.
Did you really?
Yeah, it's
You
right
cheeky
there.
fucker.
It's right there.
You reach out to touch it, even though you know you can't. And as soon as your finger gets to the point where it would be considered touching, if you were in the material plane, a flash takes over your eyes, and you are transported back into a memory. There, you are sitting with the guiding hand. 5 members, plus a white cloaked figure. They're talking about the banishment of Visigoth. And they recall that there's an artifact that might help them turn the tide. Visigoth had 3 things that he carried: his armor, his weapon, and his crown. Visigoth was very protective of his crown, as it was the most powerful of those items. And so he often left it somewhere where nobody could figure out where it was. Protected, where nobody could get to it. In the very case that he was beaten or banished, his crown wouldn't fall into the wrong hands. And they're theorizing that that crown might help them in returning Visigoth. Or, at the very least, if they figure out how to free him, if they are able to provide him that crown, then he will be able to swiftly take revenge on the other 7 gods that banished him. And you flash back, looking at this crown, realizing what it is, that this could potentially be one of the most powerful artifacts in the realm.
I'm sorry that we called you down here. You're right, it was pointless. Let's bamf out of here.
Is there anything else in the room?
There is, in this, you do see the armor and the hammer.
Okay.
On the left and right. Other than that, no, there's nothing else in this room.
As much as you guys like to lie to me, I am going to refuse to lie to you. This right here, at least in some capacity, is Visigoth's crown that we're seeing here. And it sounds like from could I infer that it was a memory? Or was it just a vision?
It was a memory of them talking about the crown.
Yeah.
You had never actually seen it.
Okay.
But it's pretty easy to infer that since this is Visigoth's home, and this is at the bottom of the tower, and you recall, like, you don't remember there being, like, a hole in that well to get down here.
Right.
You also recall when you first arrived at the tower and checked the guidebook, the guidebook said that those that wish to unlock the power of Tenerum need to have a full understanding of all the planes in the world. You can infer that this is the vault in which he left that crown, inferring thus that this is his crown.
Yes. But as far as just the memory itself, like that
it was a memory of a meeting with the guiding hand.
But it wasn't Sal's memory.
It was Sal's memory.
It was Sal's memory.
Sal was there for
Okay,
it.
so
this was fairly early on when it's hard to necessarily put a timeline exactly when it
right.
occurred.
I'm still
Like, your brother was there. And
Okay.
You're there.
Yeah.
And there are other members there. So you infer that this was fairly early on. This wasn't like towards the end of it all.
right.
This was obviously before she figured out some way. Eloise figured out some way to figured out some sort of magic that could free.
Yeah.
Because they were discussing about using it to free him.
This is something that I feel like I've discussed about before in the past with the other titans of the time. And it was an item that I think Visigoth feared being put into the hands of anybody else, and quite honestly, as far as the lore in this memory surrounding it, it sounds like it could shake the material realm if it was handed to the wrong person.
So we pretend it's not here?
I think it's what we're seeking. Why do you think we're in this tower, closing off these portals one by one? I mean, Manny read the logbook.
Did he?
It stated certain things about this tower. Have you not heard the clicks and the shambles as each portal's been closed?
No, I did. You're right.
Something's moving in the tower, and I think it's leading us, maybe not directly to these threes or this vault room, but closer to where maybe these items do exist in the material realm.
Okay.
I don't know how that solves or helps us in
this realm.
in solving this realm, but
At least now we know. Thank you for coming down.
is there any stairs or any other room? Just this small little space. Okay. So I went and touched one of the items. Can I go brush up against others?
Yeah. Nothing.
Nothing. Okay.
You do get the implication all three of these items are magical. The crown emits significantly more magical power than the other two.
Mm-hmm. Sounds fair.
In fact, the other two with your natural 20, you can infer that the magical power you feel emanating from the armor and the hammer feel residual and latent, as if they exist here in this space, but it's what's left over. But the magic from the crown almost seems to be pulsating as if it is there a little
Okay.
bit more. If that makes any sense.
Yeah. I don't know that she'd share that. Pass that along.
Yeah.
Well, are we gonna get some rest then? If we don't know how to solve
Probably a good call.
this point in
We've
time,
taken a lot of... It's been a lot of up and down today.
we at least know how to reach this chamber if we need to observe it in any future capacity.
You're right.
You guys all bamf out. You guys find yourself in the tower room. The ethereal portal is no longer glowing.
Oh. Well, look at that.
Look at you did it.
And there's my map I made of
I
that
did it.
that you'll never see again.
Yep.
The one-off map.
Oops, that's not the.
But did you have fun?
I had so much fun. A whole 2 hours making that map.
Wow.
For 3 minutes of screen time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay. That's what it was for.
Were there other secrets we were supposed to find?
No.
Obviously not.
No, there actually wasn't. That was it.
3D plane is complete. I'm assuming it's resting time.
Yeah. You guys spent, I would say, probably about an hour there in the ethereal plane.
Mm-hmm.
Heading to bed, you guys take a long rest.
Okay.
You guys awake the next day. Breakfast is ready for you. You guys know that at just after noon today, you guys will have your council meeting at the tower.
We should probably grab everything we need to from here and make our way. I don't want to be too early. I don't want to be stuck in that tower when they're looking for us,
It's true.
plotting against us.
Yeah.
You laugh.
No, it's only because you just say it.
Say the truth. Speak the
Yes,
truth.
Exactly.
There's no other point.
It's true.
I'm not a liar.
They're not necessarily lies. How'd you find out?
Well, speaking of a long rest, I'm out for the night, says John. Have fun solving the rest. Don't forget, always choose violence.
John.
He is in Texas, where it is 11:07.
Oh, I meant the always choose violence part.
12:08, actually, I think.
So, yeah, I think
3
it's
hours?
midnight. Yeah.
It's 3 hours ahead of us.
Sal would just meander, stay down. She's not interested in going to any other portals till... Yeah, and she'd get ready to start the portal process back around probably 11.
Cool.
Give us an hour before the meeting starts.
Yeah. Easy enough. Okay, is there anything you guys wanted to do else to prep for the day?
No.
Maybe. Give me 1 second. I'm not going to do it on there.
Get all these truth potions. No.
I'm actually looking to see.
Kind of curious to see who the Rangers have appointed the new lead ranger.
It's too late for that already.
What do you mean?
We have an hour till the meeting.
No, I know. We're not going. The ranger should be there.
Can I look at the potion shelf?
Sure.
I am looking for a singular potion of speed.
Roll me an Arcana check or investigation, either your choice.
The same for me. 19.
18. Let's say you find one.
Okay. I just slipped that in my bag.
Okay. Bloop.
Okay. Think we're ready to go?
Where's that? What? Oh, 9 items.
Okay.
I'd go upstairs, start the portal process, add more flecks of blood to it than it's actually needed, just to see if I can intimidate Manny a little bit.
Inscribing the runes of your destined location into the affixed material plane portal in the center of the portal room.
Mhm.
It begins to glow with light just in time as everybody is now ready to go. The flash of light, you guys find yourself in a closed-off room.
Just so you know, it was a natural 20 for the intimidation of flecking blood around for Manny.
Manny definitely is a little hesitant getting into it, but he's also seen blood.
Yeah.
He loves blood. It's his new favorite thing.
I can't see it.
You're on the minimize. There you go.
There we go. So, with a flash, you guys are back in the tower. A couple of wizards who are there seem to be actually awaiting you guys. And immediately, perfect! You guys have arrived. Welcome in. Let me take you to the meeting.
Yes,
You
lead the way.
Follow me. He leads you out the door through a alcove portal that takes you back to the base room of the tower. Immediately exiting. Immediately exiting that portal. While heading over to the next alcove, you hear a familiar voice from behind you. Oh, look who it is. How have you all been? It's Belfour is behind you, approaching, and everybody roll me a perception check.
It's all the way to the top.
No, I like Belfort. Please don't.
24.
24.
Perception 27.
6.
You
I don't
two
know.
notice there is a second figure behind Belfour that's following him. And at first, he doesn't seem recognizable.
Manny was 25.
Okay, Manny too.
No, Manny sees me.
And you're a little curious of who it is. Let me go ahead and pull this up for you. here is Belfour.
Yeah.
Um,
Or imagined.
There you go. Now you can romance.
He doesn't want a fur bog.
You don't know that.
there we go.
I just want to see you embarrass Luke.
So,
I'm not gonna embarrass Luke. Luke's gonna embarrass me. The second he says hi, I'll be like, oh, never mind.
How you
Belfour,
doing?
Again, greet you guys. How have you been? The second individual behind him that you guys see, and immediately are curious on who it is, you realize it's Yehan.
Yeah.
Now clean shaven, short hair, doesn't look like a raggedy man from the Arctic anymore. And you realize he's probably 10 years younger than you initially assumed him to be when you first met him.
Yeah.
Oh, you turned ugly now.
You wouldn't recognize it at all
Oh,
with your 6.
okay. Wow, those are 2 ugly humans.
It's good to see you all again, especially from a normal height this time. He's also no longer in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Well, shall we get going? I'm sure the council's waiting for us.
So glad it's the both of you.
Yes.
Why are you here?
Well, we're here on behalf of the Rangers Guild. Yehan is my own personal bodyguard.
Oh, that's awesome.
He is not a member of the Rangers Guild and has not taken up a position again with us. Yes. And I probably won't. But as my bodyguard, he does get the privileges of following me to these meetings. He goes, yeah, privilege.
At least you know what's happening then.
He follows you guys. See if I can use it. As you guys head to the council room, trying to. Is there a way I can zoom out on this?
If you control with the mouse, hold control and use the roller.
There we go. I just don't like that it's not.
Yeah, I get you.
Well, alright. I guess I'll just end up cycling through these later on. So, let's start there. You guys head up through the portal and find yourselves in the council chambers. You guys are now the last party members to make it to this council meeting. You're ushered to take your seats, and we'll cycle through as there are, not including you, 14 members here at this council meeting sitting at the table. And there's a few, wizards and personal bodyguards of members here. 4 people you recognize immediately for their colorful nature are the Gensai brothers, the party of 4 adventurers that you guys heard went and slayed the white dragon that was taking up home.
Oh yeah.
I lean over to Phoenix and go, do you think those 4 are the god brother twin thingies?
I don't think so.
Are you certain?
In Faroon, which was the ancient city. So, this is Kane, the Water Gensai, eldest of the brothers. This is Bon, the Fire Gensai, second eldest. This is Torin, the youngest in an Air Gensai. Wellen, the second youngest Earth Gensai. Adjacent to them is a shadowed figure, and I will be also naming them as we go through, as if sitting down there was essentially a roll call
Name
attendance
Okay.
called.
Gotcha.
Mita going through and saying, and here we have so-and-so from this. So she goes through the 4 Gensai brothers. She first introduces you guys. And then she
Actually, it's Salmaro now.
of course.
Just for your records.
Salmara. And Manny looks over and goes, oh, okay. Salmara.
Okay, we've done that.
From the Killers Collective, we have Rat. Yep, that would be Rat. It's okay. Next we have, and you guys immediately recognize her,
Oh, yeah.
Captain Eagle Eye. And she leans back in her chair and kicks her feet up onto the table. Yeah, that's me. The captain of the pirate ship that you guys sailed with. She's here representing the Seafarer's Code. Yep. And she would do wise to not put dirt on our table. Kind of gives them a smirk, goes, whatever you say, boss. Takes her feet off the table. Next we have Anders from the Fighters Guild, based out of Midfell. Anders doesn't show it great in this photo. He looks more human in this. He is a Goliath.
Yeah.
We have from the Rangers Guild and representative of now what is the Rangers Council,
Oh.
Belfour Antica, just, present. Head of the Adventurers Guild, Brandy Broadfoot. That's me. The king of the Elven Island, Espinelli. He gives a nod. My assistant here at the tower, Terrace Esgrove.
That guy's adorable. Just like the artwork for him. Personal bodyguard.
Bodyguard to... actually, she doesn't introduce Yehan because he's not sitting at the council seats. So there's actually 13, not including you guys. I should correct myself. Yehan is standing on the around the far edge of the circular room, along with all the other bodyguards, respectively behind whoever they're with. Myself, Mita, and representing the Killers Collective, representing the Thieves Guild, going by Ravenette.
Now we know who Manny's crush is gonna be.
Here. Mita then continues on. First note of business, as you all know, our last meeting was postponed. This was due to a recent assassination of a important figure here. Huh? She gives you like a side eye in the whisper, but doesn't stop talking. So we postponed it, continued the investigation. It is with unfortunate news that the investigation came up as inconclusive. We did not find any significant evidence to overturn the last ruling. However, we do want to make it clear that those closest to him do not view this as a suicide, as that was not his intentions in life, and viewed himself as actually important to stay alive. And so new information is always welcome. Any investigative clues that people might find, we'd gladly like to learn, so we could progress further. But at this point, our resources will have to be sent elsewhere, as we have not been able to find any sort of conclusive evidence to lean one way or the other.
Cover up.
To our party here, after this meeting, his body will be turned over to you for whatever burial rites you see fit, and you will also be allowed to do any investigation of the place prior to us cleaning it up, as it is still needs to be used for our own functions, to help whatever you need. Moving on. Anders, and well, those orc bastards are still ransacking Midfell. So, if anybody wants a good fight, feel free to come on by. We're able to push them back a bit, but we could use all the help we get. Seems like they're actually a little more aggressive in the last month, as if they're seeming desperate in pushing into the city and out of the dooms.
When you say city with his accent, it sounds like shitty.
It's Sean Connery.
Our
Pushing out of the city.
trade is still limited, so if you have the chance to divert any resources to our city, we could really use it, as food storage is starting to run dry. He goes, I will send a group of mages to help reinforce the bulwarks of your town. He goes, very much appreciated, Mishmita. And Terrace immediately is like, okay, and starts taking notes, and it seems he's kind of scribing this. Goes, as you know, sorry, let me pull up a map here for us. As we know, the southern city of Vestidas has been completely ransacked and destroyed. Spinelli, you are closest there and keeping a watchful eye on the area. Have you any news? The city is empty, devoid of life. Nobody comes in or out. The walls crumbled. The once horde of undead that populated the area have since fled. We have not entered the city as we don't feel the need of putting our own people at the risk of a potential ambush, but we have not seen any movement in or around the city. Last we saw, the horde of now undead civilians moved into the Red Desert and have since disappeared. Captain Eagle Eye chimes in. We also stopped by the town just north of Vestidas, sailing the waters, seeing that nobody wants to travel on foot anywhere nearby. We did the dirty work. The town seems fine. Haven't seen any news of it, seen any effects or late results of Vestidas. But considering it's the last town on the way to Vestidas, a lot of people seem to be fleeing. Every time we stop by, a number of them come rowing out to our boat and asking for a ride back to the tower. Many fleeing on foot. I don't know how many people are actually staying there anymore and living. We have heard rumors of a strange nearby town, and Mita chimes back in. Yes, the Were Animal Sanctuary. We have heard of this. There seems to be a village that has popped up at the end of the mountain range there, of various Were people. So far, they seem to have kept to themselves. But the expanding population is something to keep a watchful eye on. Strangely enough, it seems that there have been a lot of recent deaths as far as we've seen. The area just outside of the village seems to be littered with graves, unmarked. And every day they seem to be transporting people who have passed away. Again, not necessarily our business. What they do with their own is their system, and seeing that people are voluntarily entering, then I have no reason to shut them down. You guys would immediately recognize this as the town that Ben exists in.
Mind control.
Any other news? Belfour chimes in. Well, the Rangers Guild has elected me as representative of it for the matter of coming to the council meeting, seeing as I had made the journey before and I have attended these meetings in the past. We have decided to do away with the idea of a single leader after the last incident, as you are all now familiar.
Democracy.
Instead, we have a council of grey cloaks, of our most experienced and well established. It is public rules. All members had to be voted in by their peers, and then there were public votes held amongst the Rangers Guild on which members that were elected by their peers to take place. So I am one of 6 members currently seated on that council, and all seems well. I will say Lord Denner is particularly upset given the recent events. He has all of the Rangers Guild on double duty in terms of guarding and patrolling the areas, as well as he seems very eager for war. So, if the time comes when we must put up a united front, and we as a council feel the need to reveal ourselves to our lords of the land, know that Denner would be swiftly available to provide assistance, though he may be mildly upset that he wasn't part of this conversation in the first place, but we
I
all
knew
know
I
how that
liked
would
him.
go if he was. Yes, thank you, and that's good to note. For all of you, the representatives of your guild, it's probably a good idea to find some favor with your nearby lords. There may come a day where we need to reveal ourselves to those lords and ask for their assistance on a united front, and it's better if they are at least willing to cooperate than completely caught off guard. They go into some other, general logistics. You get the sense that the Thieves Guild seems to be kind of bankrolling the council in terms of when the council needs to take action or do things or create items revolving around the protection of Spey. The Thieves Guild is essentially bankrolling it with the function that the leader of the Thieves Guild understands that they are by far the richest in terms of coin for obvious reason, and having a stable continent means that you have lords who are pretty lazy in controlling the cities, which means that it's easier to get away with thievery to get more money, and so investing in the councils to protect and keep order and prevent whatever this evil that is spreading is very beneficial for them. They also kind of go into details how the reason recent funds have been depleted is with the ransacking of Vastidus, which was the home of the Killers Collective and a place of a lot of contracts.
Yeah.
There has been a kind of loss in profit. Vastidus also being one of the richest cities by far, even though it always had. There was quite a lot of gold that was left in that city somewhere, and they seemed very, very eager. The Ravenette, the gal, said she seemed very eager when Espinelli was talking about the city and potentially how available it is to loot. The Killers Collective goes on. We've been monitoring all threats. This is Rat. We've been moderating all threats and killing contracts in Spey, making sure that none of them affect the council or prominent figures that we need to continue with peace and prosperity in Spey.
Should kill them all.
He does not seem happy.
I can confirm that the Killers Collective has no association nor understanding of the death of this person here in the tower that was significant to Spey. In fact, Smith was on our no-hit list. And again, I don't care if you don't trust us. I'm telling you the truth. Take it as you will. Brandy Broadfoot. We're still offering contracts out for explorers to explore the Wild Plains. Hopefully more answers will arise and solutions on where this source is coming from and how to solve it. We have actually created paths and trails out to the eastern swamp from the roads north of Midfell. So soon adventurers may be entering those swamps and mapping out that territory for us. But for the most part, they haven't come back alive.
Oh, yeah. It's probably good. Just from my perspective. It's probably good from my perspective.
Oh, no, he's talking about, if you look on the map, this swamp.
Well, just any swamp in general, you should be a little bit more wary about stepping into. So, just saying. Mud's something you shouldn't mess with.
Wise words from our swamp-dwelling friend here. Anything else? Captain Eagle Eye raises her hands. There is a continual disappearance of ships throughout the seaboard of people ships entering Spey from Domum. However, for the last 4 days, we haven't heard any rumors of ships missing. In fact, the last 4 days, all ships have made their ports. So, there may be some potential that might be coming to a close. Also, we might have a significant problem in the channel amongst Hornhill. And there's kind of a pause, and Mita looks at him, confused, and goes, some of the supply transport ships that travel between the port side and Hornhill have talked about the potential idea of seeing a massive sea creature, potentially a kraken of sorts under the waters. No ships have claimed attack or damage, but it's a rumor spreading amongst all seafarers. The code of seafarers, of course, making their home in the caves beneath Hornhill, the sea caves beneath Hornhill. We've been keeping a close eye, and it's kind of difficult to follow through, as there's been no technical confirmation, but in a time like this, rumors should not be taken lightly. And he goes, we will look into it more
I
if
think
we
she's
can.
afraid of a giant squid.
Terrace, I've been working on scrying as much as I can into ancient cities and places as divulged to me by the notes taken with Smith prior to his unfortunate death. I have been looking on and noting that there are 3 other significant places that he was aware of. Some sort of library or tower just north of the main. Sounds like they had a second major city on the northeast side, and there's a river on the east side that comes in just past the swamp, where there was another significant town or location. These ruins are on the list to be explored, but the Adventurers Guild is making slow progress, like we said, of carving the paths. And the Brandy chimes in and goes, well, maybe if you had put some of your own lives at stake to help clear out these paths, it'd go a little faster, now wouldn't it? Yes, I wasn't meaning to give any blame, just stating that we are probably on a clock here, and if we don't find solutions soon, we may have to turn to more drastic measures. Brandy just kind of... there's kind of this dead pause, and Rat speaks up. So, are we going to talk about the elephant in the room? Is nobody going to mention the ongoings of Legatio and Artis? And there's like kind of a quiet wave that falls over the crowd and goes, he just steps in. Well, we're unsure. And being that the only guild present is the Artisans Guild, and they have locked themselves on the upper level of Legatio with the Lord, we don't have a lot of insight to the inside of that city. It is worth noting that Artis is being built significantly faster than previous, and attempts to travel in and out of Legatio are pretty narrow. Taris is using as much power as he can to scry on the information and get as much detail out, but I have a feeling that something else is coming. They're involved in somehow, and I don't think they're involved with our primary issue, but if we're not careful, this might turn into a war on 2 fronts. Party, you've actually been in Legatio recently, along with Belfour as well. What do you guys recall of your last time there, being there?
Fanatics.
I will say, I'm not so sure it's not to do with our first issue.
How
Or
so?
not to do against it, I mean. The religious there are different than anything I've encountered. They're more fanatical, they're harsher, they're meaner.
This has been a significant issue, and yes, the main point of contention. While the Divine Five religion is a core part of Domum and is associated with the Crown in partnership and ruling over the continent, it seems that they have become much more militarized here in Spey.
Yes, and it's weird. And so, like I said, I wouldn't completely rule out the fact that it could be the same issue. It could be the same thing. They could be following something.
Are you implying that they're a part of this undead horde, or that they are
Or they've
under
been
the control?
corrupted by something.
There's a possibility. We will keep a close eye. Unfortunately for us, Terrace is unable to scry on the insides of artists because they don't allow any of their non-believers into the city. So at any point, and she looks specifically to Ravenet and Rat, if anybody can get into artists and figure out what's going on, that information will be greatly appreciated. And Ravenet leans back. We may try, but there's not much in terms of profit in a religious city from our experience.
Same street.
So, we'll let you know if we get anything, but that doesn't really seem like our forte. Rad. Well, we do have a couple of targets that we believe are hiding in artists, and we will be looking for a way to get to them, as there is a significant profit to be made from it. But again, the place is on high lockdown, and many of our assassins who have tried have failed, and are now imprisoned in Artis, unsure of their condition or whereabouts after that. From what we have heard, the slums of Legatio are being cleaned. The place is turning better, if you could say that.
Yeah, the slums are getting clean because all of the
Only
people of the
holy
slums
shall
have been
prevail.
starved or killed. And at that point, you've lost a whole city population that, well, of course it's easy to clean it once you've dealt with.
We do have a couple who make home in the slums of Legatio, being the Guild of Artisans, jealous craftsmen, great bankrollers for our job. From what we've heard, there are poor civilians being led off in rags to artists,
Exactly.
most likely explaining the boom in building production.
Slaves.
Yeah.
It also seems that they're working on the lower streets of Legatio, as if they're preparing for something.
Like I said, I would be more afraid that they're not two separate things than I would be about a war coming from two different points.
While we don't hold a lot of influence in Domum, I believe I can make contact with the king there. We will be reaching out for counsel based on the conditions of artists, and hopefully with the help of the Thieves Guild, and looks to him and they kind of nod, we can forge some documents to appear as if they're coming from the Lord of Legatio himself, claiming that the religion is trying to take over his city, as it appears by paper. We only run the risk of the delivery ship being snatched up by whatever's out there. But if you say there's been no kidnappings in the last 4 days of disappearance of ships, perhaps we have a good chance of getting a message out and back.
Do we want people from Dolan coming over to Spain?
When I was in Dolum, it was quite innocent.
And
Even the
We're
guiding
not supposed
hand.
to mix.
Terrace says, well, I will work with Ravenet here, and we will go ahead and get a letter together with a proper messenger and a ship to send off from Port Novus and make their way back to Domum. It will be a few weeks before we get any sort of response due to the travel times, and if they end up getting taken, then we may not hear anything at all.
Like, technically, I'm from Dolum.
I know, but I thought Imitatio didn't want us intermingling. That's what
I can't remember.
Both you make perception checks.
Four.
My perception is 27.
You guys are having this whispered conversation, and you're fine for the most part with enough chatter around the table and people focusing on the main speaker. You catch it out of the corner of your eye as you're kind of like whispering over to Sal. When you guys are whispering, Mita talking to Ravenette and Terrace side glances at you guys as you guys are whispering.
I try to keep my faith private, and let's keep my prayers out of this.
If we have
Okay?
no new news and nothing else to discuss, we will call this council meeting adjourned. Feel free to reach out if any emergencies occur. As per usual, we will meet again this time next month.
Okay.
And she stands up the table. Everybody else stands up. She walks out of the room, terrace and foot. And people, start to disperse.
Also.
What do you guys want to do?
I'd like some insight on her.
On Mita?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a 19 ultimately.
Okay. You get the sense that she has very keen senses, and everything she said was true, and she does seem genuine when she was talking about the unfortunate scenario of Smith. And she was being sincere when she said if anybody has any information or comes across anything else, bring it to us immediately. The side glances throughout the conversations, you're unsure if she actually heard everything you're saying. In fact, you're pretty sure she probably didn't catch most of it, but unlike anybody else at the table, she was acutely aware that you guys were having a side conversation.
Okay.
You're unsure what or if she caught anything from it, but she very much was not just aware, but almost intrigued on what you were saying, like as if, and you could really catch it, but every so once in a while when you were having your side conversation and she was addressing the group, you could almost hear the start of a stutter. She's very clear and well spoken, and so it doesn't come through very well, but you can hear the little falter in the voice as if she's trying to almost try and focus on you, but she still has to keep up the guise of holding the conversation in the meeting.
So back home.
I want to say yes. But the symbols are unique, correct?
Well, yeah, I have.
Only you have them, but you will have to draw them in front of other people.
Not if we have a private room.
And does it vanish once we go away?
It should, yes. I believe so. It's one-time use when I draw, or can the next person walk in and see the symbol that I drew?
No, unless you spend a very long period, I think it's like multiple days, crafting a permanent portal to a location. When you teleport to somewhere, it consumes the runes, the magic chalk and the runes associated with it, and so it's not something that somebody could come and investigate after you do it to figure out what those were.
The runes are consumed.
But in the tower, in order to cast it, we will be around other people no matter what.
No, it's a private room.
I don't think it is. He
There
never-
is somebody who does a log, who is for the departure room. There is a person who is kind of like at a service desk, where if you want to go to another town and you don't know the runes, they will put it in for you. Go up and draw and put it in. But other than that, that's all they really do, and they're not necessarily watching people.
Okay.
And then there's a arrival room. That's one where people are actually like watching you guys and standing over as you guys enter. But this one's more of like the person's there in case you can't cast the spell, or you need to go to a location you haven't visited, and he's like, "Oh, I know that one." So, but other than that, he's like on kind of desk duty, and he's not in a position where he can like see what you're doing necessarily.
However, at the same time, I guess no matter where we go, they could scry on us and see. Unless they don't know what time we're doing it.
I just sent the collection of council member photos to your guys' to the group chat.
Thanks. I prefer to do it at our gnomish friend's house.
That would take days,
Oh.
and then it would be permanent. And if
No, you can't.
they're being
just-
watched,
okay.
they don't have a portal set up there. No,
Okay.
we could teleport to Nyx, hang out there for a day, and then teleport out of Nyx's.
Yehan and Belfour approach you guys. Oh, we'd love to have you if you wanted to stop by.
Free drinks.
Of course. And Yehan behind. Yeah, free drinks. Feel free to stop by. We'll be awaiting your arrival, but unfortunately we've got to get going. And they head out. Next approaches you is somebody who hasn't made eye contact with your group the entire time you've been here. Even in the previous council meetings, never looked at you guys. The Elven King, Espinelli. He approaches. I apologize for not introducing myself at the previous council meeting.
Oh, no worries. I'm Manny. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Manny. I've seen your town. It's beautiful.
My town.
Yes.
You've met all 30 of us?
Yes.
Remember, you've talked about all the time about how elves come to visit you.
Well, I don't remember you.
Oh, perhaps you were on one of your nature walks.
This guy's creepy.
Manny would think it's awesome. Are you kidding me?
I have a favor to ask. The reason I'm familiar with you is because I've met two of your party members, ex-party members. First off, I wanted to say that they're doing well.
Oh, Mr. E.
E is joined the military ranks and is currently serving and working his way through it quite proficiently.
Some dice for you.
Fella is enjoying craftsmanship with the fine and enchanted woods of our elven fortress. She is becoming quite the craftsman and has actually begun crafting a lot of tools that have been assisting us.
She rolled a one.
The reason I come to you is actually to ask a favor.
Favors aren't free.
From my understanding, you guys have all met my son,
Yes, I think we have.
Nico Ellie.
Mm-hmm.
He is... And he seems to almost like bite his tongue as if he doesn't want to speak ill or anything, but he is a traveler, like yourselves. Hard to keep down and stay in one place. And he's been obsessed with this idea of an artifact of our people, something to represent the leader. The old crown. He's gone missing. Normally, he's gone for a week or two at a time, goes explores the dungeon, gets himself into a pickle, finds a way out, and makes his way home. haven't seen him in a while. And while
It's
he
a while for you.
potentially could be off on another adventure. About a month and a half ago. Shortly after he arrived back in the city with Fella, he departed again. This time, heading north of the main, towards a greater swamp land. He believed that there was some religious temple there. Haven't seen him since, haven't heard from him. He is a bit of a screw up. Not really respected in the Elven City, but he's still royal blood, and so I need him back. If you get the chance, the last time he was seen was, and he looks towards me, and leaving your home. Perhaps your brother might have some insight as to his whereabouts or exactly where he went. I believe he stayed there with your family, like before heading north. Perhaps he can tell you which track or trail he took
Yeah.
to get there.
I guess it's been a while since I've been out on my nature walk.
And it would be good to actually set a portal there too.
Well, Sal, do you know of any markations for my town?
Just a flat stare back at him. No.
Well, at least I know how to get there.
So you think.
No, he means walking.
I know.
Okay.
Not stupid.
Aspenelli says, "Oh, thank you," and he turns and walks away immediately.
Is there any reward?
He's gone.
Oh, gone.
I'm sure there will be, though. You know, it might be kind of nice to take a little bit of a break from home.
Of 2 days, 4 days. Home of 4 days.
Well, that's what we're calling it right now. Home.
I will admit I like my goose feather down bed.
You're right. But we might have other things we need to do.
World can burn. I'm just saying, it's coming on all fronts. People at top are a little screwy. They're not doing anything really. You see how the guilds are all after their own self-interests. I'm just calling it as it is. You have almost all the major cities that are populated with different issues. One of them's bound to catch on fire. Spread like wild
One
weed.
of them has caught
Give me
on
a
fire.
perception check, Sal.
That's a 6.
You guys notice this. Sal doesn't. A female half-orc approaches behind Sal, takes off her hood, or takes off her hat, and sticks her head forward as if leaning her chin over Sal's shoulder,
Oh.
as if joining in on the conversation, and like side-eyeing Sal from the side. You don't notice this until she speaks up. Well, howdy doody, guys. How you been? Catches you a little off guard.
It's one way to get yourself killed accidentally.
Oh, please. If she could kill me, she would have had my boat by now.
It's
And then
true.
she kind of leans back and steps around to actually join the circle.
You are the only one actually actively trying to do anything, aren't you?
Huh. I'm always doing something. Can't stay bored. On that note, if you guys ever want to come sailing again, you're always welcome on the ship. It was a good jolly bit having you last time.
Sal's just like constantly flitting her tongue. Like at every other word that she's saying.
You're not going to intimidate me. I've known your people for a long time.
She just doesn't blink and
Yeah.
keeps.
She's not
She's just obvious. Sal's just frustrated, so she's just.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I best get going. Gizmo's got a new batch ready to go for tonight, so we're gonna go have a jolly time on the ship. And she walks out. At this point, the only people left in the room would be the Gensai brothers in the corner, talking to each other in their own little circle, the same way you guys are. And if anybody wants to make a perception check.
Not that this
Yeah,
has
that's
been good.
not going well for you.
I have a 0. I'm not wise.
Dirty 20.
Natural 20.
Oh.
Or 25.
10 for me, and then 23 for Manny.
Okay. You're the only one that notices this, Swift. Rat, the representative from the Killers Collective, is standing in a corner of the room in almost like an alcove of where like these teleportation circles are, or not teleportation circles, but like people walk through, kind of like we talk about the Harry Potter, you step into it, vanish into the next.
Diagonally.
He's standing in the corner and hasn't necessarily been eyeballing you guys, but eyeballing the crowd at a whole, and now being one of the few members left has been watching you as multiple members of the council has approached your group before leaving. Making, I guess. Give me a stealth check.
Natural 20.
Oh my god.
For 27.
Yeah. You catch this in a side glance, but immediately divert your gaze in a way to not reveal to him that you've noticed his presence. But you are like able to tell, like using your peripheral vision, you can see just like the edges of his boots to tell that like you can tell he's here, and you also know that he hasn't noticed that you have noticed him.
Unless we leave before they try to kill us all.
You wouldn't know he's there.
No, I know. I'm just frustrated in general. Are we going to Nyx? Are we going back home?
We can do either. For once, you have me on being super cautious.
The 4 Gensai brothers approach you guys.
Fuck.
Mostly Torin, the youngest Air Gensai.
Everyone's got something
Probably
to
a
say.
rogue based on the leather armor and just fit and build of the person. Pops on over. Well, what's up, fellow guys? How you guys been? Do any cool adventures lately?
No.
Did I tell you and he puts his arm like on your shoulder as if leaning in kind of close. He goes, did I tell you we slew a dragon?
On mine? On
Yeah.
Sal's?
Yeah.
The dragon we told you about, you dum-dum.
Pretty impressed, huh?
If you'd like your hand to remain intact and in connection to your other ligaments and other bones, I would suggest removing that from my presence.
Ooh, feisty. And he leans off again. Wellen approaches behind the big earth giant and he goes, Doran, you're gonna get yourself hurt, man. He goes, oh, I'm just having a bit of fun. So, what's the cool stories? What's the stitch?
We save giants. That's about all we've done lately.
I've always wanted to see a giant.
They are very beautiful.
Mm.
Very fun. But only if you know giant. Otherwise, I'm sure it was quite boring for 2 of our party members.
I don't. I speak primordial.
Then you
Talk to
probably
the
won't
elements.
like giants.
Oh.
But other than that, really, we've just been resting and kind of making a home for ourselves. So,
Oh.
debating about if we should go to Nyx or not. We have friends
Oh.
there.
I have been Nyx. It's kind of fun. A little too cold of a climate for me, though.
Yeah.
Bond Bond voices in the fire genocide. He goes, I never had a problem with it. Yeah, that's because you made a fire, asshole. You're always warm. Well, sucks to be you.
I agree.
And Kane introduces himself. I'm sorry for my brothers. I know we've met before, but I'm Kane, the eldest. If you guys ever need any help, feel free to reach out. Happy to lend a hand to a fellow group. Seems like we're one of the few people here, the 8 of us, that actually gets our hand dirty for this council.
Well, and it's good to know
No,
that
we
you
probably
can
need
slay
to
a
stick
dragon,
together.
because Manny here is quite scared of them.
Really?
Oh,
There's nothing to
yeah,
be scared of.
my grandpappy was carried off by a dragon.
Oh, he's probably fine.
No.
Okay. Where did you say you lived? Where was your grandpa?
Off in the east, around the mountain ridge.
Oh, maybe it was the dragon we slew.
Hmm.
Torin jumps in. He's like, we did kill a white dragon in that city just north of you.
Yeah, I don't know that it was white. I think it was black.
Okay. Well,
I'd have to ask my mom.
let me tell you, that was profitable. Dragons, a lot of money. Not just killing it, they hoard.
Yeah, well, I think contracts are just easier in general and, slaying creatures that aren't really causing that much of a problem.
Nah, that's boring.
But we
I
are
like it,
thankful
they're
that you
fun.
slew the dragon. Thank you.
Kane jumps back in. It's really no problem. Just doing as the council tells us. But, yeah. Can't say I'm not worried.
Where are you guys off to next?
Well, our boss seemed pretty upset there, Brandy. So, I have a feeling he's going to be sending us to the front lines to that swamp.
Oh,
Trying
yes.
to blaze a trail, lead a group of young adventurers that we're probably going to have to watch die. But, 'tis the life.
That at least might be entertaining.
And he kind of gives you a side glance like, what the fuck? Strange company you keep. And he walks off, and Torin, the air gen site, looks at you one more time, gives you like a punch to the shoulder, and goes, I'll catch you later. He walks out, doing like the backwards, like walking backwards finger guns the whole way. Wellen, at this point, like grabs him by the collar and starts dragging him because he's not walking fast enough. They leave. It is now.
There's
just
never an opportunity to
Is
kill
Rex
him.
and I watching?
Yes.
Can I tell if
I'm
he was
going
listening
to.
the conversation?
Yes.
I think that is an interesting idea. I believe you could kill him, but I don't understand why we would need to.
He's rude.
He's
I've killed for less.
stupid and young.
And
There's a
that's
difference.
not a reason to live.
Well, he might grow up to be smart and wise.
I doubt it. You can tell lost causes.
Okay, what are we doing now?
Well, I say we go home, figure out the plan there.
Okay.
I mean,
Did you
see,
leave the room?
well, yeah, portal's not here.
Okay.
Yeah, Sal would make her away, and then get us all back. Oh, you scared Charles. He's like,
It's like, oh god, I'm falling. It's getting closer.
He totally, I think.
he's like, this is not funny, guys.
It's all fun and games until he gets sick and just
He would too.
moving too fast.
He's like, oh no, I'm gonna leave.
Things are moving too fast.
Yeah, I think back to the
As
town.
I leave the room, can I go, bye, rat?
Immediately, you see a scowl across his face, and he immediately turns, and in the little alcove that he's at, as he like turns and steps 1 foot more into the alcove, vanishes as he just got teleported to a different floor. You could tell he was a little surprised by it and not happy. And when she says "bye, rat," you guys basically catch the last look of like him stepping into the alcove.
He was listening to us the whole time.
Not the whole time, I'm assuming, but only when we're chit-chatting.
Yeah.
That's fine. We said nothing of value.
Yeah, I'd go make the runes.
However, I'm curious as to why he would want to be listening.
You're making the runes in just the normal portal room in the tower, the departure room. Okay, cool. Yeah, head in, make the runes, and you guys are able to leave. I will say this: when you left the tower, or when you left Tenerum, your new kind of home place, surprisingly, it didn't use a spell slot when you teleported across, like a teleportation circle normally does. And it seemed that the Tenerum almost provided you the magical energy to teleport out. Leaving the tower, it did use your spell slot.
Interesting. Okay.
You guys have the late afternoon here, but it is pushing towards.
My brain is not equipped to tackle the elemental realms.
No.
And I don't know that Shadowfell is a wise idea unless we're ready to fight, because it
I
sounds
think
persnickety.
we might just have to have the tower as base, but otherwise,
Oh, I agree. There's definitely people that we need to, like I said earlier, a day ago, you need to work on yourself.
we need to do some other things. But it's nice to have the tower here for when we need it. But we also have to go do some other things.
In case you were curious, by the way, because Salmara would know this, you can create a permanent teleportation circle anywhere you want by casting that spell, by casting teleportation circle from that location every day for an entire year.
Okay. Right.
So developing a new teleportation circle that's a permanent fixture is very difficult.
Yeah.
You don't need to use the circle to teleport when you cast the spell in this way. So technically, you don't have to like every day I have to teleport somewhere and then come back. You can basically draw it, cast the spell to create the teleportation circle, and then just immediately close it and not use it.
Okay.
And after a year, it becomes permanently inscribed into the ground location.
Yeah.
So that's usually when people are building permanent, they build rooms with pedestals, like stone places where it seems more permanent. That way, even though it really doesn't affect the magic, it's not like out in the mud.
I'll just have to create one to get back
There's
to
nothing
over
wrong with
time.
mud.
Yeah. That might keep the runic code from I can change it up every time we leave and head back.
Oh, okay. That would put me at ease. Yeah, I don't know. I just got a weird sense towards the end of that meeting. I think it's mostly knowing that she maybe didn't hear us, but she definitely was watching us.
Oh, they're all snakes.
But that means we don't mention my god as if it's a legit person that we've already talked to.
You, Phoenix, hear a voice ring out in your head. Familiar voice, Terrace Esgrove.
Yeah.
Hey,
Hi.
sorry I didn't catch you on your way out. Smith's body is prepared for release to you at any given point. Let me know. You know that you can respond with up to 25 words.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. We will come tomorrow for burial rites. And we can look at his house, correct?
There's a pause.
Or
Yeah.
where he stayed.
Because now he has to recast the spell.
Yeah.
There's a pause. Yes, you can view the property. It will be closed off to the public until you feel comfortable and release it to us.
Okay, we will see you tomorrow. Thank you.
If you guys don't want to do anything else, then we will end with you guys taking your long rest.
Okay.
And we'll
Alright.
close out the session there. We will be back in 2 weeks for another Grasp of the Starved. But we'll be back next week with Arcana Valistaria.
Will
That is
we?
correct. Yeah.
I was gonna say in 2 weeks
Yeah, you were at a wedding.
well,
I
Or
the day before. Are you
Oh,
coming
that's-
back that day?
I was planning on coming back Sunday. We'll see. We might have to postpone
Yeah.
as
Grasp
A
of the
lot of
Starved.
people are flying that day.
might
so
be out of
yeah.
town. Yeah. Thanks, guys, and catch you later.
Have the rest of your night.